Well, hello everyone. My name's Renata Wasick and I am the owner and director of RW Psychology. It is so lovely to be able to share with you today, and I am really excited that you are having a baby. So congratulations. My job here today is to help demystify, talk about some of the things you might experience from a mental health perspective. I'm a psychologist, and I also am a mum. So I'm well versed in being able to cover this kind of area for you. So I'm not going to waffle on too much today. I want to get stuck into some of the important things that we need to consider when we're having a baby, whether this is your first, your second, your third, or sixth. This is really going to be an opportunity to hopefully add something of value for you. I see lots of mums and dads who have had babies, and obviously, life changes considerably. When you have a newborn come into the world, there is so much excitement, as there should be. But obviously, sometimes parents get a bit forgotten in amongst the excitement. So, today I really wanted to kind of touch on a few points that might be helpful for you to consider in your journey. As you start, obviously, I'm sure that you're covering a whole bunch of the physical elements, what to expect, birthing, all of that amazing stuff, which is really, really important because obviously that also connects with mental health. Making sure that you're okay through the birth and labor, they're all really anxiety provoking things. But we also need to consider what happens afterwards. The afterwards is something that we often forget. As mums and dads, we often get really caught up in focusing on the birth, and often our brains don't go beyond there. We just think, how do I want to give birth? What am I going to be doing? Um, how do I want it to look? And we create these amazing birth plans. I'm sure some of you have heard about the birth plan. The birth plan is a wonderful tool. However, sometimes birth doesn't go to plan. Babies don't go to plan. They arrive early, they arrive late, they do what they want to do, they turn upside down, they flip around, and they do all these amazing things, right? So we need to be prepared that plans don't often work well with babies. So if we're clinging dearly to a birth plan, it's something to consider that, to maybe think about it in terms of a framework. What would I like it to look like ideally? But how can I make this as flexible as I can so that I don't get anxious if it doesn't go to a T? Okay, we can't control the entire birth process. So, psychologically, it's important to think, well, look, I would like this music. If it's not happening or if something's broken, it's not going to upset me on the day. I can deal with a bit of flexibility. So, that is important to think about, the flexibility that happens amongst the birthing process. Now, obviously, it's important to note having a baby changes things. It changes your life. It's exciting in so many different ways. It can also be a bit of a shock because we don't really think beyond birth. The next morning, the next day, what's that going to look like? Um, and often that's something that is a bit of a shock for people. It was for me. I had never considered beyond the date of birth. It was just that's where I had to get to. And I didn't think about all these amazing things that happen to your body afterwards. So, my job is to try and fill in some of those gaps for you to try and help you broach that. So, something I want to touch on today is to think about sleep. Sleep is essentially important for mental health, and it is the number one thing that I need to address when people come to me post birth, because obviously everybody knows when you have a baby, sleep is disrupted, right? The effect, though, that sleep deprivation has on us is it makes you feel tired and grumpy, right? Things that you would normally be okay with, all of a sudden, we're not okay. We're not functioning. We're not looking after ourselves. We're struggling. We get snappy. We get irritable. All of those things happen when we don't get good quality sleep. Now, what seems to happen when we have children is that those short periods of time when you have a newborn is that all of a sudden the newborn's gone to sleep. It's like, right, let's get the house in order, let's tidy, let's put a load of washing on, the baby's down, let's go and do all of those things. And there's a sense of guilt that people feel when they don't use that time effectively. So baby's gone to sleep, and then we've been up all night. We've had an unsettled bub who's struggling to adjust to life on the outside. And then we've got guilty parents that are saying, oh, my house is such a mess, I'm not okay with it, and the washing sitting and all of those things. Early weeks after birth is just a matter of adjustment. It's learning, it's surviving, it's trying to find your feet when everything is like a washing machine. Your thoughts, feelings, adjusting, it's all like a big washing machine. All of it is okay. It won't, nothing terrible will happen if the washing doesn't get done. If the dishes are in the rack on the bench, nothing terrible will happen. And it's about prioritizing your own well-being at this time. If you've been awake all night and you need to have a power nap, that's okay. Currently, the first few months, I'd say the first 3, it's actually important that you look after and do what you need to do to get through. Adjusting to a lack of sleep is hard, and it's going to take some adjustment. It's going to take some trial and error to be able to get through that. So they always say sleep when your baby sleeps. I want you to remember this. If you need to have a nap, it is okay. If the dishes aren't done, it is okay. If you are having takeaway, it is okay. All of it is okay. You are adjusting, you are learning, and you're growing. And to remember, this is temporary. It's not always going to be like this. Okay. I had to adjust through it. Mine are grown now and they sleep quite well. So it's important to remember that this is a temporary, it's a season. Okay. It's going to change. So just something to remember as you're getting through. I want you to focus on making sure that you're getting good sleep and getting enough sleep, power nap, catch ups as you need, rotating feeds if you need to, however you need to do it, but just trying to get good quality sleep. Okay. The other thing to consider is breastfeeding. There is a huge pressure on breastfeeding, and it is another thing that contributes to mums specifically after birth. We often don't think about breastfeeding afterwards. It's just getting to that birth, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh gosh, I hadn't really thought this far, and now I'm breastfeeding and I don't know how to do this. It can actually make women feel really incompetent if it's not working. There's a sense of, what's wrong with me? Why can't I do this? What does that mean about me as a mum? It's not something that comes inherently to a lot of women. It's not something it's a natural thing for some women, and it's okay. And the damage it does psychologically is that a lot of women put pressure on themselves to be able to breastfeed because there's a message that breast is best. And that's unfortunately a problem that, I see a lot. Women coming in saying, there's something wrong with me, I can't do this. And the stress and the pressure that they feel, that, they feel like they've failed. Unfortunately, breastfeeding is hard. And it's okay if it doesn't work out. All I want you to do today is give you snippets. I'm not giving you a doom and gloom about horrible things, but I just want to kind of prepare that if things don't go to plan, obviously, if you're breastfeeding and it's working, that is amazing. But for some of you, it may not be an option. It may not work out. You might do your absolute best and it still doesn't work for lots of different reasons, and that's okay. It doesn't mean you failed. It doesn't mean you're a terrible parent. It just means it didn't work. So again, it's adjusting and being okay with all the variables that come with that. Obviously, if you want to give it a go and you want to try, that's amazing. But at the same time, it's okay if it's not too. So I wanted to just give you just some food for thought about what your expectations might be. Is this something you're going to give a try? And at what point do you both decide this is not, what you want anymore? And that's okay too. So ensuring that you're speaking to your doctors and your treating teams and, the nurses that are involved in your care, making sure that you're communicating with them about your feelings, because it's okay if you're psychologically not okay and you're stressed. It's okay to have a fed baby. Okay. Now, the big hormones that happen affect your mental health. You're going to have hormone flux after birth. It's part of the birthing process. Everyone's heard about baby blues. You know what that looks like? You have a baby for a couple of days. We get a lot of tears, a lot of teary days, a lot of, oh my gosh, what's happened to my body? Everything feels different. It's all, you might be in a little bit of pain after birth, bloating, all of that stuff. You don't necessarily expect that. But there's often a lot of adjustment and tears and tiredness and all of that stuff that comes afterwards. It's normal. The 3 days afterwards, we can be crying over a Kleenex commercial. That's all really, really normal stuff, okay? Our hormones are raging. We've got milk coming in. There's a whole range of things that happen to your body. But it's also really important to consider, when is it time to get some help? Sometimes the hormones kick in and you have your hormonal spike and things don't quite settle. We struggle. We're teary all the time. We're struggling. We're getting thoughts that are dark or uncomfortable. I really want to urge you, there's a lot that happens as a parent. You can have lots of thoughts. These little people can make you feel really incompetent. They don't come with a rule book. They don't come with an explanation of what they need. They don't talk to us. They can't tell us what they need. And a lot of it comes from intuition and, doing the best to try and help. You've got a crying baby. It can be very stressful. So I really want you to reach out for help when you need to. Sometimes those questions, what do I do? Are they hungry? Are they tired? They can make you feel really distressed if you're not sure what to do and you've tried everything. There are lines available. I know there's helplines available, like Lifeline. Everybody knows the 13, 11, 14. But sometimes there's specific questions that you don't know or you need answered, and it gives you a lot of comfort to reach out to those lines. Specifically, there's the Karatani, the parent lines. The 1300 caring line is amazing. They're available to parents who are new parents and you just need a nurse on the end of the line to say, hey, I've tried everything. I'm exhausted. I don't know what to do. They're there for you. Okay. Tricillian is 1300 272 736. And the lines are available 7 a.m. to 11 p.m. So they're there for you. I encourage you to use them. If you don't feel like and you just want someone to listen and to say, oh my gosh, this is really hard, it's okay. They're there for you. Sometimes making that call can just be comforting. And it's important for you to understand that they're there. The other part of it is understanding when you need to seek further help. When is it just adjustment? At what point? If we've kind of lost enjoyment, we're not feeling like we're bouncing back in any way, we're feeling like we're getting lost and irritable and angry, frustrated, see your GP. Your GPs are there to connect with, to talk to. They can refer you on to people like me that can talk to you further. I've got a whole team here. I'm located in Oran Park. We've got a whole team of people that can help support you, talk you through. Getting help doesn't mean the wheels have to be broken. The wheels don't have to be completely fallen off the wagon. It's more about just connecting so that you've got a helping hand. And it may not be treatment. Sometimes it can just be, I need to find my feet again. This is a life change. This is difficult sometimes. Sometimes it's amazing, right? There's a lot of comparison that happens with parenting. You see everyone's Facebook reels, Instagram posts. Oh, I've had a baby. Look at this amazing journey, all the beautiful pictures. And there's a lot of comparison. Why are they coping and I'm not? Why are they doing so well and I'm not? But you have to remember that every parent has struggling moments. Every parent has moments where there's tears, there's tantrums, there's crying. It's all part of adjusting and learning how to do this in your way. And all of it is fine. Not to continuously look at other parents saying, why have they got it all together and I don't? Because I can guarantee you they're not all together. And if they're telling you they're all together, it's probably not true. So I really, really hope you have an amazing birthing journey. I wish you all the best in becoming parents. If you need further help and support, if you're feeling like you've got some depression burning, if you feel like you're just not snapping back, you can always get in touch with us. Our number is 7907 3964, and we're located at RW Psychology in Oran Park. There's a lot of different resources, and it doesn't have to be our clinic. You can reach out anywhere you feel comfortable, but your GP is a first stop to say, hey, I need a hand, and they can help refer you to wherever you need to be. Reach out to your helplines, but I wish you every single best wish for your birth and your ongoing care, and I hope it's a wonderful experience. It can be such an amazing experience. So we are here at any time if you need help or support, and I wish you well on your journey. Bye for now.